Good morning, students. Today we are going to study a new lesson in civics. So far we have completed 3 lessons in civics. First was Constitution, second understanding secularism, third about the Parliament. Now fourth one about a very important topic, that is laws. You have heard about the laws, different example you have heard about, right? One is very much familiar with you. That is, children below 18 years. They ride motorbike, many vehicle. Is it given permission? No, right? Why it is not given permission? Because it can harm. They are the students or they are the children. So it can harm their life. So there is a law exists that children below 18 years cannot or they are not allowed to ride the motor vehicles. But still, some of the children, they ride. Have you seen them? Or you have heard about? So, these laws are needed for a happy life. Or laws protect us from various difficulties, various problems. So laws are very much needed. Here there is a law in your textbook. Given that an example or a situation is given in your textbook. It states that it is an example. In that a government officer, he is hiding his son and hiding from police or hiding from the law, and that son has done a crime and he had got 10 years imprisonment. But the officer or government officer who is the father of the child, he is hiding his son. Is it permissible or is it good? Any law which exists, we go against that. Is it good for us? I have told you that children drive the vehicle. Is it good? No. So laws are needed to follow it. Laws are needed to make it enforced, or laws are needed to be enforced. For that, people have to support it. And here, the government officer, he is a man who has lot of power. He can be a political leader. He can be a member in any political party, and he is doing violation of law. So here he is hiding the son and from the crime. So we can say that he is doing violation of the law. So violation of the law, now you understood. Children drive the vehicle. Even though law states that under 18 years, children are not allowed to drive any vehicle, but children drive. This is violation of law, right? So such violation of laws are very harmful. It can be very harmful for our personal life. It can be harmful for entire nation. It can be harmful even for the society. So we have to follow the laws and regulations. Next thing, that our Constituent Assembly members, we have seen in the first lesson, in which we have seen Constitution was made by a group of leaders, group of members. They were from different localities. They were from different regions. They all had made a beautiful Constitution for India. The team of members, they were known as Constituent Assembly. They had made a very important term, that rule of law. So they had guaranteed, or the Constituent Assembly had guaranteed rule of law in the Constitution. What is rule of law? Rule of law states that every people, every citizen of India are equal in front of the laws, or equal before the laws. Means whether that people can be from various caste, various communities, various economic background, various status and dignity they have in the society, but they all are equal before law. That means whether citizen can be powerful leader, political party member, he can be president of India, he can be rich, he can be poor, he can be either from a caste, various caste, religion, but laws are equal for everyone. This is known as rule of law. The second term which is given on the blackboard, that is rule of law. So it is given in the constitution. That rule of law has to be followed. It is followed everywhere. Okay. And in the ancient days, there was no such rule of laws. In the ancient India, there were overlapping laws. Overlapping laws in the sense, the laws were not equal for everyone. For some religious community, the laws would be different. For some caste, it would be different. So, laws were applicable for different individual, different religion, different caste. As our India was caste based. So, there were different castes. Sometimes we could see in ancient India that the laws were, or the punishment which were given to the people from a lower caste was so harsh, but the punishment given to a higher caste was so moderate. So such different situation we could see at that time. But now it is not like that. So such laws were not following in the ancient India. There we could see the overlapping of laws. Laws can be applicable in different situation, different people, different language, religious community, caste, etc. So it was different for everyone. Okay. And now it is changed. Now we have got independence, and the ancient days had passed over. Now we are in a democratic society. Everyone is in front of law. Everyone is equal before the law. Nobody is above the law. Okay, nobody is above the law. Above the law in the sense all are equal before the law. Nobody gets any special status in front of the law. Okay. It is believed that British had introduced the rule of law, but many historians had disputed against this claim because they had two arguments. One was British laws were arbitrary. Okay. Second one, that Indian nationalist or Indian nationalist leaders, they had brought the new legal ways in India. So arbitrary in the sense, what arbitrary means, it was changing according to different people, different situation, the laws were changing, or according to the wishes of the British, they used to make the laws. Clear? So that is known as arbitrary. So this arbitrariness we can see in the Sedition Act of 1870. Sedition Act of 1870 states that government consider it as the resistance or rebellion against it. So Sedition Act of 1870 is itself an example of arbitrariness, and which we can see one such a Sedition Act of 1870. Sedition Act of 1870, you understood, means government when they resist or rebellion against it, if it is considered, then Sedition Act of 1870. 1870, do you understand? It means, once again I will repeat, it means anything which the government consider as a resistance or rebellion against it. Then one such we can see example of Sedition Act of 1870. One such example we can say that the law which was, or any rebellion or resistance against the government, when they consider it as a important law. So one such was known as Rowlatt Act of 1919. Rowlatt Act of 1919 was passed by the British government during the colonial administration. And according to this Rowlatt Act, Indian people were not allowed to gather, and if government found anybody, they can arrest them. And it is not needed for a trial, so they can arrest them. So Rowlatt Act was passed. Many people protested. Even Gandhiji was against that Rowlatt Act. Without any trial, people can be arrested. It is injustice. So Gandhiji was against it. And many people were arrested. When they revolted against it, people were arrested. In that, one of the two important people known as Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, they were arrested. When they were arrested in Amritsar in Punjab, in the place known as Jallianwala Bagh, many people gathered for a public meeting. They had gathered on the date that was 13th April 1919, and while the Rowlatt Act was persisting, or it was put into practice. So when people were gathered in Amritsar, the place or the garden known as Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, General Dyer, he had blocked the entrance of the park or entrance of this garden with his army, and he had ordered the army to fire on the people. Because according to the Rowlatt Act, public meeting was not allowed and people were gathered on that particular place. And the army or the army officials, they started firing on them. Many people had killed. So this shows the Sedition Act of 1870, which this is one of the example of that Sedition Act of 1870. And here you can see that the whims or the wishes of the British government or arbitrariness of the government. It was not needed for a particular person can make any laws according to the situation. So this type of laws were persisting, or it was existing at that time during the colonial government. And after the colonial government, India became democratic, or India became free, and they had changed this arbitrariness. The Indian nationalists started protesting and criticizing this arbitrary use of the arbitrary laws of the government, laws of the British government. They wanted to change such arbitrariness. They wanted that the idea of laws which defined by the British as the set of rules that they were forced to obey. It was forced to obey. So British had made the laws to forced to obey. They wanted to change it from that forced to obey to ideas of justice. So this the Indian nationalists wanted. And at the end of the 19th century, many Indian nationalists or Indian legal profession started getting a place or began to emerge, and they got respect in the colonial government or colonial court. So in many Indian lawyers started working or functioning in the British colonial court, and slowly they started getting many respect in the court, and they wanted that laws to defend the legal rights. So they wanted laws. They made the laws to defend the legal rights, and also they wanted that Indian judges, many Indian judges also started performing, and they had a greater role in the making of laws or the making of the decisions in our in the colonial government.